Action.
Satisfaction. I need to show that I'm the main attraction. I just made that up.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
pretty
welcome to
cool.
Dre's room. Yeah, I'm not giving nobody room to talk. Listen, let's introduce everybody around the room real quick. Caleb,
Yo, Caleb Seabrook, co-host.
Neelan,
What's up, y'all? I'm Neil Wilson.
Tenacious,
Hello, hello, hello.
Jaden. Everybody said something, bro. Ming.
How y'all doing?
Now you're the only one. All right. My fault, OG. Now, before we get into today's topic, let me give you some explanation why we're in this topic. So, when I was a child, my parents were very, how do I put this in a way that they won't get mad at me when I go home? They would they were very like you gotta say something. Like if you they were very like you gotta be confrontational. I was a very I didn't like confrontation as a kid. That's the best way to say it. And then growing up, they was like, if I don't do confrontation, I suck. I'm not gonna make it in life. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
To me at least. So I grew up and I became one of those people that just always had something to say. Always had some smack to say, whatever. And now I realize a lot of people don't like me doing that no more. So now we're at a crossroads of problems of, wow, I grew up doing one thing that the rest of the world does not mess with. So yeah.
So like that form of you communicating, like, has that like ever affected like friendships or relationships?
It's definitely affected. Yeah, it's definitely affected both, especially friendships. I used to have like a good bit of friends in like high school because everybody that I know from back home, I know them since like elementary school. I know them since like elementary school and whatnot. And back then, I guess like when I was like starting to do what they want me to do, I started saying I started speaking my mind a lot, and people didn't like when I said stuff. I was brutal. I became a brutally honest kid, and they didn't like that. And like a lot of people like, it's like he's weird. He's weird.
You the same way now?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Oh,
more conscious.
Oh, okay.
That's why we're talking about
okay,
it.
good. So you broke the cycle. I know that's right.
Growth.
Yes.
Okay.
What you gotta say about that, me?
I mean, you was a Clemson fan. I would say something too.
That's a great point.
Bro, I was a kid that liked Tigers and I messed with Clemson Tigers. And then I got yelled at for being a Clemson fan, so I became a Gamecocks fan. I feel like that's average in a black household.
That's average in like a South Carolina household. I ain't gonna
Hey.
hold. I was Clemson, now I'm USC.
Going back to the thing though, just because you were brutally honest, don't you think that would be? Don't you appreciate having the confidence to say whatever was on your mind rather than to not? Because I grew up quiet.
No, okay. That's where it got crazy because low key, after I realized a lot of people didn't like my brutal honesty, I became quiet. And like everybody started looking at me crazy because I went from saying something to now I'm not saying nothing at all. So now I'm looking like the quiet kid. And that's never a good look in today's society. So it was just like now I'm very conscious of how I talk to people. Like sometimes I will literally hit the quiet button every time. Like I won't say a word if someone comes up to me because I'm like, I don't want to say nothing that's gonna piss you off. So I'm just gonna shut up.
Yeah, never thought about it like that. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like my development was kind of the opposite. I was one of those kids that was like, well, like younger me was like overly in people's faces. I moved around a lot, so like in order to make friends, I had to like kind of be in people's faces a little bit, and so I was that. And then I got a little bit older, and I was talking to my brother and some other people a little bit more, and it was just like, yeah, bro, you need to chill out, watch the room a little bit, be a little bit more observant, and it changed my whole mojo. So like by the time I got to high school, I went from like to like just completely quiet, and that was like high school, like quarantine time, 2020ish, is when I entered like my real like quiet kid phase. Like people really thought that I was gonna shoot up, like, you know what I mean, and wasn't a good look. And so I had to like kind of reel that back some. And so, but now at this point, I kind of feel like because I had to relearn all of that, I think socially I'm just a skilled person. I'm not really actually like a extrovert or any of the other. I'm just skilled. And so what that means is I had to be unskilled at some point. And I still am learning that, you feel me? So there's still times now, and Drake can attest to this, where I say something or do something that's like, people are kind of looking at me like, feel me?
I call it spontaneous moment.
You know, right, because you feel me, I'm learning how to be spontaneous. And so I was just like, hey, let's just go do this. And so like one time I tried to like volunteer Dre to go crump battle this guy on the block.
It was so crazy.
Did you win?
Literally, no.
Like, impossible.
No, I didn't.
Who did you find?
Bro,
It was the people, it was the showstoppers.
you know,
But what movie?
And they had
Chris.
Chris.
Oh.
Chris Stevens. Oh yeah, of course. He
Yeah.
dances for the Hornets.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Dre's but Dre's
He's on the
better
Hornets.
crump battler.
No, I'm
But Dre's
not,
a better
bro.
crump
Mind you,
battler.
I
So I
just
was
got
like-
my Pizza Hut pizza. I'm like, I'm finna go to my room, eat this, go to sleep, do my homework, and then go back to sleep. He says, yo, Dre, I got one for you. I said, what you mean? He said, go ahead, dance battle real quick.
Yeah, bro.
They's like, everybody like, yeah, do it. I said, nah, my neck hurt, my back hurt, my left
bro.
knee ain't good.
Because when he started making excuses, I went and talked to everybody on the block. I was like, yo, my nigga Dre, my boy Dre, like, yo, y'all gotta go.
I was like, yo,
Y'all
he's
gotta
the
see
best
this.
capper in the world, bro. I was like, bro, I never got a cut from him anyway. I never met him.
Never
bro.
heard of who that?
I
Who is
don't
him?
know you.
Aren't you one of them barbers?
Yo, chill.
Take photos, right?
You said what?
I said, you don't want to take photos, right?
Yo, chill.
Those little photos.
That's gonna be enough for me, dog.
That's good.
How would you like describe your parents, like parenting style, though, like other than them just being your bully, low key?
Nah,
Let's start with. I'm sorry to cut you off. Let's start with we love our parents. Yeah.
Indeed.
Everybody in here love their parents.
Yeah.
love them.
Indeed.
Great.
Love you, ma.
That's all I really got.
Dad, you owe me some money.
Oh.
But I still love you, though. I want my money back.
Mom, you remember that check?
Remember that $20 for my 10th birthday? I still need that.
Yo, Loki, ma, you said you had to hold my money. When Grandma gave me $20, I remember this. You said, I'll just hold it for you. I never got to use my 20. But that's for another day. Listen, I say my parents, I really respect them because, like, now we have a really close relationship. Like, it's very close. Like, we could talk about a lot of stuff. But at the same time, I feel like they were like, they made me paranoid. I'm not gonna lie. That my parents made me paranoid. I look at everybody and everything like danger.
Like on
That's
defense.
so real.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know who to trust. People can be weird. Things are weird. I look at like, I don't know. They made me very cautious. I say that, but they also were like, they tried to make me a certain way. So I don't know. I feel like they were good people. They are good people. I mean, I hope they are. They raised me.
Would you consider like tough love?
100% tough love.
Can we talk about the tough love thing and like those like serious developmental years, like 13, 14, 15, 16? Because like,
I feel like,
I'm not gonna
I feel
lie.
like that's when the tough love kind of started.
You know what I mean?
disappearing.
I know it.
Not for
the
me.
hormones go crazy. Because,
Whoa.
like, I ain't saying, like, I went through tough love because, like, I don't know. Personally, me, it was my fault.
now go ahead.
Because now I look at the corner, I'm like, yeah, like,
Now go ahead, bro. Rock out.
I'm like, no, you're peeking. But my parents gave me tough love, but like, I'm like I'm in middle school. I'm around people like, yeah, man, I hate my parents. Rebel. I'm like, yeah, rebel. I had a little
It was trendy. It was lucky kind of.
Who trends the rebel? I'm not rebelling.
Ma, I never said that about you. I just want to let that be known.
But like, all like the middle school movies and blah, 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 like that would be kids supposed to like,
parents suck, kids rule. Like, I was going through that, and like, I just want to be like,
I never had that moment, bro. I understand what you're coming from,
Nigga
but I could
Confederate.
never have that moment. You know what's crazy? I think I needed the tough love because I'm not gonna lie. It got to a point I was a bad kid. With quarantine years,
What would you consider a bad
I
kid?
did talk
Because you
back.
were.
I did talk back a little crazy to moms. And mom, I apologize for all that because mom, I ain't gonna lie. It was quarantine. Whole shit family stressed out. Everything going on, economy,
I gotta
finances.
see them from day to night.
Right, bro. And I gotta get on that Zoom. Mom trying to press me about the Zoom.
And that's why I had to get tough love. I did not clock in for school at all my freshman year of high school.
Oh.
Wow.
I didn't turn on the camera. I didn't turn in assignments. I didn't do nothing. I opened the camera, act like I did something, and got straight on the game.
I can attest.
They was like, "Oh yeah," they say you went at the Zoom for 2 days in a row. I said, "No, I was there." I said, "Look at my grades." I pulled like some fake thing to show my grades. They were like, "Oh yeah, you doing great, bro." My mom said something don't feel right. Called the teacher. Yo, you're failing every class. I said, "How you fail art and PE?" And I said,
I ain't gonna lie though.
I locked in though. I'm
Bro,
good.
having to turn your camera on and do jumping jacks on the hardware,
bro,
push-ups, sit-ups. I was in ROTC.
I had to. We use Google
That mess was
Classroom.
humbling, bro. Somebody took a screenshot of my side profile and sent it to me. I didn't know that. I didn't know him at the time either. I was like, wow. And then I stopped turning my camera on.
Aww.
And then I stopped going. And that's why I can attest. I didn't go to anything.
Y'all actually have PE class over Zoom. They just took roll, show us a yoga video, left.
No, so okay, look.
I went to a specialty school. They gave us a Fitbit and they made us get 20,000 steps.
Nah, see, they wanted to see us get our steps. So you know what we had to do? We all had to get Google Classroom on our phone, download it, join the Zoom, and she was like, "Okay, everybody run their lap." So we had to go outside and run lap like this because I had to record myself recording the lab. She was like,
Nah, man.
"They were like, if your phone dies, you basically don't get a grade for that day. Like you basically get a 0 because you didn't turn your camera on, record yourself running a mile."
Like, what if you like trip because you're not paying attention? Like you looking back at the phone, just like no. Like,
What if there's like no sidewalk? You gotta.
I didn't have a sidewalk. My neighborhood didn't have a sidewalk.
She don't care.
you just in
I
the
was
road.
running the street.
Now you gotta go like
Street.
across the busy
What were
road.
like? Oh my fault. What were like Sundays like for you though? Like, did you grow up in a religious household?
Oh yeah, I grew up in a very religious household. I say like there was some like a certain point in years like we weren't heavy churchgoers, but you know we still praise the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
My nana, she, if I went to church, I'll go to church with her. And her church, she didn't go to like a black church, but she had a great church though.
Were you ever told like pray about it? Like you went to your parents about something, pray about it.
To this day,
For
to
real?
this day, I'm told to pray about it.
Dang.
It's very helpful. It's very helpful. I'm not gonna lie. I like praying.
Yeah,
It clears my mind.
You gotta let go, let God. Sometimes these issues are too big for us.
If I could talk about that a little bit, like my mom and dad weren't like super religious people, but my grandma on my dad's side is a woman of the Lord. Like she's you feel me, church on Wednesdays, choir rehearsal on Thursdays, church on Sunday. You know what I mean? She was like that. So she was kind of the pray about it person. And I talked about those developmental years earlier because you say pray about it to a 13-year-old. Sure, I'll pray about it, but like at the same time, at a certain point, I got to start taking some action for me, and I don't really know what to do.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I will say that. I feel like at a younger, if y'all went to church, y'all go to children's church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was in Awana. Y'all know what Awana is?
No.
You said what?
It was this program called Awana. I went to this church called Watts Chapel in Raleigh. And Awana program, it's at a couple different churches, like nationally. And it was basically this children's church program where it was like, you had your like activity time and you had your Bible study time. And they give you like this notebook with like, it was like basically like a Bible comic. And you had to fill in certain scriptures and memorize certain scriptures and blah, blah, blah. And that was the whole premise of it. Like it was like community, Christianhood and all of the whole shebang. And it was cool. But like, it got to a point where religion wasn't really like the main teaching anymore. Like,
Okay. No. That's what I want to talk about. Because I feel like in your ages of like growing up, learning about like your religion, at a certain point, you actually got to learn yourself. Because I feel like at some point they tell you about God, but they don't really tell you like about God. I feel like they tell you the famous stories like joining the whale, knowing the ark, you know, Moses, but they don't really explain like why those were like important events. Like they just like this happened. It was like it was God though, right? Like, just say it. Like, they don't say it enough.
yeah, I think that's a really big thing. And like when we talk about these conversations about like emotional growth and stuff like that when it comes to our parents, it's like a lot of, like, in retrospect, a lot of what I was looking for was like a little bit more mentorship when it comes to like those hard topics and stuff like that. Mom, why am I sad and nothing's happened today? Like, you feel me? Like, what's going on? I'm a hormonal teenager and I have no idea what's happening inside my body or outside my body because I don't know my surroundings. I don't know anything. Y'all just help me out. Pray about it. Well, and my mom was like a really strong woman, so my mom in particular to me and my brother was, and love you, Mom, swear, but she was kind of just like, nobody cares, da 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 da, get it together, you got a job to do. Like, it was that kind of situation. It was just like, dude.
That's why I had to get out the house, bro. Like, I had a bike. I used to just bike everywhere, bro. Like, with my boys, with Noah and the crew, bro, we used to ride our bikes across the entire uptown, bro. From front to go to gas station, go blow down, go to the gym. Shit, one time we biked to school. That was weird though. But it was fun, and then we got cars and we stopped. That sucked.
Did y'all have like moments where like y'all kind of started to put the pieces together, like emotionally at least, and start to figure yourselves out? Like,
More recently, definitely. Like back then when I was growing up, I used to have a stepdad, and he didn't really talk emotions. He was really the reason I didn't like to speak. I used to be an outgoing kid, stuff like that. I would do every program in church, all that. But then he started coming to my life, and then, like how y'all said, pray about it. That's kind of more recent to me. I used to have to go to him about, like, why am I feeling this way? They would say, go to the man in your family. And he wasn't that kind of a talkative person. He wouldn't speak emotions. He would more kind of push, just you a man, just figure it out. So like emotionally, I started to piece it together once I started to learn more. Like I started picking up my Bible. I started talking to folks outside. Just started to learn about myself more. Yeah.
Like personally, me growing up, like we all go through something. And, like I seen stuff going through, but like personally, me growing up, and I was always quiet. I was a quiet one in my family. My parents, like we all like were a typical like middle class family. Yeah. But just growing up, I'll feel some type of way. I feel like I couldn't go to nobody for real. And I never had like, oh, we got to pray about it, be a man type moment. It's just like I was just so confused. I'm like, I'm a logical person. Like I put like studies and education over everything. But when it came down to like, I can't write down the problem, solve it with a formula, and then bing bada boom, I get it. And so like from adolescence to now, I just been so lost. Like I started journaling. I started going to like mental health, like panels and whatnot. Like last night I had my moment. I'm like, I watched one TikTok, boom, bam, bam, had me all messed up, crying. My nose stuffed up. I'm like, I can't breathe. My eyes burning. Might be sick. But just growing up, like personally for us growing up, it just felt so hard because I felt like I was always like a distraction type of kid. Like I would have friends, we always go out, and I'm always happy. But then when it's just hit moments where I'm just by myself alone, I just don't know. Like emotions hit like spaghetti on the wall, to be honest.
Jeez.
And like it's crazy to say that on a podcast, but like
no, that's real though.
It's real though. And like
yeah, I used to be afraid of being alone with my thoughts too. That's why I stayed busy.
And one thing about being alone with thoughts too is like it's like your fears come out too. Alone with your thoughts, because like at a certain point, my biggest fear was the dark, but like also my biggest.
That's so real though. That's so real when you're younger,
get you. Bro. But my biggest fear was myself because like at the moment I just never like even now like I don't think of myself because I'm still me. I got like hold me on to the day, you know, I knock on mahogany, but my biggest fear was me. I just did not know like who I am, what I want to be, how I feel. Like you said, like I'm going through I don't know what's going on in my body. I'm not sure what's going on in my surroundings. I'm not sure what's going on with my emotions. Like I punched a hole in the wall once and like I just didn't know why I did it. I just punched a hole in the wall for some reason.
Have you ever like thought about therapy? Like I believe not trying to be I believe prayer like helps. Like I pray myself, but I like sometimes you need like that physical support, like a person to talk to. So like, you ever took that as like
therapy has been such like an echoed word all of my all of my college career, because like everybody talk. I be hearing people say like, "Why go to therapy? Why would I just pay someone to talk about my problems? I don't feel like that's gonna work."
Black people in the
Oh,
therapy
that-
conversation.
I'm about to say I was.
And like, granted, I be around black folk. I be hearing around black. I'm not sure how other people think about that though. But like, when it comes to therapy or having a safe space, like with things that happen in my life, it feels like I just can't talk to nobody. Like honestly, I feel like either I'm exposing too much of the truth, or I'm letting the little things become a big thing, and everybody gonna be in the mix.
Yeah, therapy was bad. I used to go to therapy and it was hard to talk to him because the reason I needed the therapy was in the room next to me. Like my stepfather, he was main the reasons of my trauma or whatnot, and it was hard to speak it out because he was right there. What's he gonna do to me? What are they gonna say to him if like he left? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was talk to my friends. So like therapy really came from who was around me, who related to me, stuff like that. You know.
So like, do you think like not having that kind of help, like has it like shaped your life, like relationships and friendships and stuff like that?
When it comes to not having therapy,
Or not just having somebody to talk to in
just
general.
having to talk to.
Yeah.
Prior to my situation, now having someone to talk to, it kind of did levy the situation, but like at sometimes it feels like, all right, I scratch your back, now you're scratching mine. So like, be like, you gotta understand yourself before kind of playing the role of therapist, because like some people can be good at just helping somebody out during the times of trials, because like you can sit there listen like, well, I can give you this advice, but like now when you and I see like, damn, I'm not sure how I'm feeling now, because there'll be moments where I'll be in a relationship with somebody or I'm just friends with somebody. They going through so much stuff, and then now I'm by myself. Man, now I'm feeling this type of way. Like how they feeling? I feel like I'm not in the right place for my age. I feel like this and like I feel like that. And now when you talking like having all those conversations going around at such a young age, when you're still figuring it out and you're still trying to get out the mud in some way, you just stand there like, well, I'm just a lost cause at this point. Crazy, right?
Yeah. I mean, not crazy. I mean, that's your life.
No, that was good.
I feel
Yeah.
like, so like I low key like I really understand what you're saying, because I like helping, like I really like helping people that got problems, because one thing I know is black people don't go to therapy, and it's just a bad misconception because they think therapy is one thing, like it's like they're forcing you to deal with your problems. But it's just like talking you through your problems.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they be like, you know, they be like how you said, they be like, oh, would I pay somebody? Bro, I go to another black man, the average black man, not one that has it all figured out, but like the average black man. I taught him about my problems. He's not really like focused on his mental health like that. He'll be like, you just gotta work through it. You gotta grind. You gotta get the paper. And once you get the paper, you good. Then you just get your family straight. You get a girl. It'd be like, bro, that's not what's going on, bro. The physical isn't what's the problem. It's the mental.
I think as black people, we tend to lose ourselves in the things that we force to matter to us. And this is a at this point we're forcing it to matter, but from a generational standpoint, there's evidence of why we culturally care about the things that we care about. Like some of y'all may have seen that video that's gone viral a couple times about how to sell to the Negro. Yes, no, maybe so. No, so
Nah.
it's this video is basically saying, it was like black people care about name brands. So if you're going to sell them on something, don't try to sell them like a cheaper version or a subcategory of that, because they're gonna feel like they're getting ripped off and stuff like this and stuff like that. And they were basically just saying like, yo, you have to target the materialistic side of black people because that's what's gonna matter to them. And if you really, and that video was made in like the 40s. And so we can fast forward that to 2025, 2020, 2016, anything since then. That formula has stayed the case. And it's only just now starting to change a little bit because a materialistic sentiment is just dying. But like, I think we all have to be really intentional about like healing those traumas and stuff that at this point are just taught to us. Yeah. Like, and therapy is one of those things. A lot of us have bad experiences with therapy, but it's also because a lot of us and a lot of our families come into therapy situations or counseling situations not with an open mind, or without being conscious of what may be the problem. And so like we just have to put ourselves in places as young people to where we can be selfish for a little bit. You know, I feel like right now in our 20s is the time to be selfish a little bit because I mean, of course, not all of us are 20, but like you get what I'm saying. As young adults, we all have to be selfish a little bit and taking care of ourselves and taking care of our financial situations and taking care of all of these things because like we got to be the change that we want to see. And we can't do that unless we start to heal. And so
I can definitely attest to all that. I think growing up, I'm starting to realize, like how he said, like most recently, everything's been starting to click a little bit.
Yeah.
I think for me, within the past 2.5, 3 years as well, everything's been starting to click as like kind of life is starting to hit, you know, some things within the family are like breaking apart. I start to realize like life was all giddy and da-da-da, but I have realized that I was starting to fall under that trope that you said black people had, where it used to be all, you know, I'm rich in love. Now it's like I'm more materialistic, and that's something I've been trying to work on. And my family never believed in therapy either. I know probably, I'm not sure if y'all did, but my family didn't believe in therapy. And they definitely was like, no therapy, da-da-da-da. And now it's hard for me to even, you know, sometimes talk about stuff. Like my sister had asked me something because I was on the phone with my mother and it was a serious topic and it was like, it like shook me a bit. And this was like literally today while I was with my sister and she was like, brother, explain it to me. And I was trying to think. I was like, I couldn't speak about it because I was like, I needed to process it before, you know, I was like, I need to see if I can like understand what just happened, how I feel before I talk to you. Because I don't know how to communicate.
That's one thing I can really say.
That's
like,
one thing that came out
communicate
the house.
is the strongest word for me when it comes to my emotions because like now there's a couple of bridges that I'm walking upon that have now been amended and like put back together. And there's so much stuff I want to say, but like after being that's another thing I want to talk about, isolation when it comes to like young black mental health, because I'll be trying to say all the time, I want to translate or say it, but I just don't know how. And I want to heal. I want everything that's going left just to be quiet. I can get my life back, but I just don't know how to say, hey, help me. Help me. And it's crazy too. And like once again, I was a quiet kid, so now me able to open my mouth and articulate myself in the way I can, it's crazy for me to say I can't tell you that I'm happy. I can't tell you that. Well, I can tell you that I'm happy, but now me translating happiness into like that's my cover up. You seeing a smile on my face. I could be in the calf dancing, smiling, but I could really just be hurting. But I just don't know how to say I'm hurting for real.
I think most of us hurt in that way.
That's so real, but so crazy. But like, wow.
And I feel we normalize that type of pain.
Dang.
We normalize that type of pain because, especially in college, then that's a whole separate conversation.
We dance with like, I feel like in college, we dance. It feels like we're dancing at like a funeral for our emotions because we just let it just sit there and just rot, to be honest. That's how I take it. And like, I'm spending college, I go to parties, I go to kickbacks, I be hanging out. But I said to myself when I go back to the room when I'm like coming down, is like, is this really fun, or I'm just trying to put in something in the void where I know for a fact it's bottomless. So no matter how much I throw in, no matter how much I throw in or how much I do this, do that, like, is it really helping what I'm going through, or is it just making me feel worse?
Well, I would say like stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't say it's like, I don't know. It's more like giving you a break from it. Just like giving a momentary pause. Because like, in the day, life is going to be life. Like, you're going to have to deal with it regardless. Like, you can't escape life. So like, you got to deal with stuff. But like, the momentary moments we give ourselves, like, just to go out and do stuff. Like, I feel like those got to be, like, you got to have those. Like, you got to have side quests. Like, you got to do something other than literally what you have to do.
Like you can categorize that as self-love.
Yeah.
As long as you understand, you know, yourself.
That's a big part of healing too. I also all the time when I like look at like toys or just look like things I never had as a kid, like healing that inner child. I feel like a lot of us as young folk need to heal ourselves because even though we may not have like wounds or like bruises, we still need to heal ourselves in ways that we all never thought about. And like it crazy enough now, like I'm not talking about personal business, but like me and my dad, well, before I moved out to college, now we talk on a regular basis. Like me and my dad slowly start getting like talking together, like start kind of like joking, laughing, start like telling stories of like our lives and whatnot. Like before my mom passed away, like that never happened for real, for real. And just and I had a father figure, like he never was absent, he never didn't care about me or my siblings, but like we just never talked. Like I like he's one side of the house, I'm on the other side of the house. I'm at school, he's at work, paths never cross. But like now, just healing that fact, like I can talk to my dad now. I'm a growing young black man, and I'm going to be in a position he's going to be at one day. And just healing, there's no for I'm healing. Just I have a father. I'm more appreciative like who I got in my life.
And I think that's a big part of the healing process. We can talk about our childhoods all day and night because at the end of the day, all of us are going to go through something that probably wasn't the best situation while we were kids. But as young adults, especially, I think we get a unique chance to begin to humanize our parents too, and start to understand that
it's their first time being a parent.
Yeah, you hit my brother with a fly swatter.
I told my mom that this morning.
You was going through something too.
Nah, low key, I think one of the biggest like things I ever achieved with like especially with my dad, and recently like we really like with my mom is like our communication levels. Like, cause I used to feel like I had to step on eggshells whatever I say around them. I'd be like, if I say this, lecture. If I say this, lecture. But now it's just like, hey, bro, you got something to say, you just got to say it. Like, because like when I was younger, specifically this one time, me and my dad were like joking or whatever. We used to like play wrestle all the time. So I'm thinking we joking because he doesn't like sometimes he don't like when like I just be like, no. Like when I just be like, say no. He like, who you talking to? I'm thinking we play wrestling. He said, I'm talking to you. And then out of nowhere, he just starts whooping me. I'm like, dang, what?
No.
I'm like, what did I do? I go to mom. I'm like, Mom, what did you do? He was like, he told you to talk crazy to me. He was like, he was playing and he was being serious. I was like, oh, like me and my dad didn't like, when it came to stuff like that, like going to playing and being serious, like our communication was like sucked. Now it's like we're here with it. We talk. I know you're not dancing as I'm talking about getting whooped.
He said anything to women. I just like.
Yeah, he emoted on your story.
Can you like recognize your parents' trauma? Because like I see like in black households, there's patterns of disregarding mental health. Like I'm pretty sure our parents are like crazy too, low key. So like, can you recognize their trauma?
Can I take that?
Yeah.
Can I take that question?
I had some.
We get both, but
yeah, that's not for everybody. Like we can all
Three people take that.
But yeah, I think it's less of a pattern of disregarding mental health. I think Generation X is probably all of our parents, right? At that point, they were still kind of disregarding mental health, but I think it was more so disregarding self-care than it was disregarding mental health. And so I think healing that trauma specifically was like the big thing. Like my brother had a conversation with my dad like last week, and he was like, yeah, I finally took the step and went and got some mental health and got medicated and da-da-da-da. I'm probably carrying something with me that y'all might be going through too. So it's important that we talk about these things. And it was like, wow, this 47, 48-year-old man is coming to his kids and saying, yo, I'm going through something. Help me help you. Like, and I feel like that's super, super, super powerful. Like, we gotta key in on the self-care aspect of it.
One thing I want to touch on as black men is that vulnerability. Because when I see a black man or I see myself, I see like I'm standing tall, 10 toes, chest up to the sky, nobody can tell me nothing. But like, sometimes I cry. And
this is true.
And when I first saw my dad cry in front of me and my other brothers, like it felt different to me. And like granted, he cried like other times, like we all go through something, like don't get me wrong. And just the first time seeing your father cry really say like this man is more than just like the heavy duty figure. Like this man shows like, hey, I'm human too. No matter how much food I put in y'all stomachs, how many lectures and ass whoopings I give y'all, like literally, like he said, like, hey, I cried too, man. Like, And I feel like I want to say I'm like a complete replication of my dad. Because the first time I saw her cry, I feel like he was crying out of the way, like he thought he failed us, and I cried plenty times. I thought I failed myself or failing him, and just to like the reflection back from son, like from father to son, is wild.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad you said something about fathers crying, because like literally that goes exactly with this, because like I think the first time like I seen my pops cry, and sorry if you don't want nobody to know this, pops, but it's whatever. So it's like one time, I think it was like when I was younger. Well, let me start with my dad first. At a certain age, his mother passed right when he was like, he's like the oldest of his brothers. So he was like right when he was like getting to like middle school, high school, his mom passed. And he just kind of go from like grandma to grandma house. So, and I guess like no one really ever like really talked about it. Cause I was like, I knew she passed, but like I never said nothing about it. So I think it was like again, I was like in middle school or something. I was like, Dad, like how was like your mom? Like how was grandma? And like he just sat on the bed, started talking, and like I saw tears coming out of his eyes, and I was like, wow. I don't know. That made me feel some type of way. Like that made me like, it made me like, I don't know. It humanized him, I guess. So yeah.
Indeed.
Well,
So like with us breaking these cycles, like how do you see yourself doing that? All these traumatizing things and
I
stuff you
think
experience.
one of the biggest cycles in Black culture in general is gossiping in black families, which is terrible. It's terrible in families, and when that causes that to split a family from what it is as a family, and that also causes trauma because it's like, wow, this is what my family says is behind my back, and like respectfully, I got a lot of that going on in my family, and I don't like that. Like the thing is, my whole thing is now, because going back to me being brutally honest, that's why I'm picking back on my brutally honest part. It's like if you got something to say it with your chest.
Well, you say gossip, correct?
Gossip.
I think that also kind of falls in why Black folk don't believe in therapy, because I'm not saying most people, but like most people do. In fact, like they can't hold water. Like it's always a game of telephone. And granted, it's like a game of telephone after one thing gets said. Oh, da da da, feeling like this. Oh, you heard about da da. He's finna wild out, and like,
Bro, I trusted you to like,
and like you have all that trust, and like imagine being a kid too. Like you have all this trust for a person that you been like they were so nice to you, and then just to turn around, everybody looking at you like I'm the weird one. Like I got something like riled up inside of me. No, I'm just a kid that's hurting.
yeah.
I just need a hug. I just need someone to talk to me. Like now, it never happened to me personally, but like besides like emotion wise, but like just saying something to one person and you're just going through a line of people, or you explain. And granted, you can't say nothing to nobody. Like everybody, like parents say, everybody's not your friend now. But just saying that to somebody, especially a family that you should always trust, blood is thicker than water, just knowing that it will always pass through, will always run through, it just ruins any type of trust. And I feel like that's also kind of like what lays into trauma too, is trust. If I can't trust you, I have all these hidden battles that I'm fighting and I'm losing every single day. And I'm not even chipping out like a bit of the HP. So all that trust, I'm just want to be by myself, isolated.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I noticed like what you said about the gossip in the family, like not trusting. I noticed that Thanksgiving, I'm sitting at the table. I went to Dothan. That's where I'm from, Birmingham, Alabama. But Dothan is where my family's from. I'm sitting at the table. It's 5 of us. We used to have a big family, but now it's like everybody either dead or they just don't like each other because there's so much distrust within each other. So I'm sitting at the Thanksgiving table. It's 5 of us. It's me, my mama, my grandma, my uncle, and my little baby sister. And I was like, I'm looking at her. I'm feeling hurt for her because she's not going to experience a family dinner for real because nobody's left. Nobody's here together. She's not getting to experience what I grew up on. And like you said, I cried. I cried at the dinner table because my little sister ain't going to enjoy a genuine family. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really feel that topic.
That's literally what happened. Nah, because that happened with my grandma this year. Like, because literally, we were supposed to, my granny's house has never been quiet. Never been quiet on Thanksgiving. family got into an argument because one wanted to do catering and the other one didn't want to cook, and the people weren't coordinated. And I was like, okay, how about y'all just come together, cook, whatever. They end up making 2 different group chats and whatnot, and having their own problems. Then I go to my grandma's house because I'm thinking, oh, your car's always in the driveway. I got to park in the back. I pull up. There's literally like 2 cars there. 2 cars. I get inside. My grand's not even at the dinner table. She's in the room watching TV, and like just was like, wow. At the end of the day, though, that was actually crazy though, because that was really messed up.
I feel like I can like definitely relate to that. Like from my family, like I'm a very family oriented person because at least my instant family and then my grandparents on my mom's side, like we all live within the same like 40 minutes. So it's always just been family, family, family. Go to church. Every Thanksgiving, Christmas, we be together. Even if I don't come from a lot of money. So even if, you know, we weren't either at home or we didn't have anything, we would still be together. And it became less tangible stuff like money and more family. But this last Thanksgiving, I didn't go home because I felt as if like it was just too much money for a round trip on the train and then other factors. And then, so my mom, she called me today. She was like, she was sad and she was crying. And she was like, it was a lot of stuff, but pretty much she feels as if she has failed. And recently, her and my father split up, and it's been very confusing. And it's caused a lot of instability within the family, like everywhere. My dad's all the way back at his hometown, and my mom and my sister's having problems real bad. Like, and then my other sister, she got her problems. My mom was just like, you know, all these traumas that you kids have, you know, because we weren't the best, da 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 da. And I kind of find it really cool that you guys are able to pinpoint where your parents messed up, because she was trying to she was trying to tell me points where she and my father messed up, and I just can't see it. And everything she was saying, I had previously thought that it was all my fault. And she's saying now that is things that her and my father, she pretty much broke me down. Like, and I don't understand it. And that's what I was trying to tell you. Like, my sister was like, what was the phone call about? Like, it was really that. Like, she was like telling me where everything was rooted from. And she was like apologizing, but like just kind of talking to me for real. And I just like still, like, I just can't see it. I feel like that's definitely like, I don't know if it was like a manipulation kind of thing, but yeah. If that makes any sense at all.
Well, you know, I think it's like, you know, families, like parents, like even if you're not the first child, they're the first you're the first person that they're raising. You're the first kneeling they ever raised.
Yeah.
So it's like there's never going to be a perfect parent.
That's
There's literally no perfect parent. So it's like, of course, like even if they had their own troubles, it's like, you know, it happened, okay? But like that doesn't mean, there may be problems that probably branched, but that doesn't mean you're the root. Like you're my only problem. Yeah. Doesn't mean you're the source of all my problems.
And within the Black household, I think it's really important to understand, at least as adults, as young adults, it's just like seeing people for what their intentions were or may be. It's just like understand what the point is. Like, what's the point? Like, why are you grilling me? Why are you da-da-da-da? It's because you want me to do good. You on my behind about my grades, about me getting on my Zoom, because you want me to pass so I can graduate and go to college and stuff like that. And seeing the effort for what it is and not for how it feels and stuff like that. And so that's really important. But I think in a broader scale, as Black people and from a cultural standpoint, we have to do a better job of just trusting ourselves. Trusting our people and trusting ourselves in turn. We've been taught that this world is dog eat dog, and it's forced us to kind of destroy the institution of the Black family, the connected Black culture, the culture of ours that was able to build crazy things, to build sustainable communities back in our home countries and stuff like that. And I mention that because it is a generational trauma. Our people were brought to America and we broke all of that. and then we were taught brick by brick how to destroy ourselves again. And so it starts there. It starts with trusting ourselves and trusting our people and being willing to say, hey, you're doing a good thing. I'm doing a good thing. Let's do good things together. I know you're starting a good initiative. Let me put my money into you, and you put your money into me, or you put your money into my cousin the bread, stuff like that. We gotta heal ourselves emotionally, socially, and economically. I think if we all just take one tiny step, one baby step in that direction, one minuscule, little step, like our kids is gonna take on that narrative. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Our parents went through some crazy stuff. They was raised in a weird time. Most of our parents was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in the 80s. And seeing what that was like. Seeing crack hit the streets. Like, you know how crazy that is? You know what I mean?
Go ahead. No.
But point being, we all have the gift and a curse of seeing our parents go through whatever it is they went through. And we all subconsciously created a movement as Gen Z for mental health and recognizing generational trauma and all of these things. We got to take accountability in a certain sense to say, hey, even if it's not my personal problem, it's the problem of my people. And what am I going to do as an individual to make sure that my people are going to be okay? But that's all I got to say. Dre?
Anybody else got one last thing they want to get off their heart?
One last thing I want to get off my heart, because I know I talk a lot. I like how we're the next generation to break all the curses and break all the evolutions, like the de-evolutions of who we need to be as a people. And I just hope that later on, when we have kids or there's somebody looking up, like our age, that they really gonna say like, what's bad mental health? I don't know, self-care, da 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 da. And I understand it's not gonna be happy, but I hope everybody will live better and live good.
I think our generation has the passion, and the generation after us has like the actual power.
Execution.
We have the awareness.
Right.
Nah, I feel like the first like path of like positivity and good healing is that everybody says they want to get healed, but they don't want to put in the work to get healed. They just want it to be done. They don't want to feel the pain no more. And that's how we get to like crappy people today. That's how we get to people going on the wrong sides of the road. People taking the wrong steps in society. That's how we get to that.
And this is true, but it's important that we teach our kids and we teach everybody how to be comfortable in that room by yourself. How to learn yourself in a way, how to be disciplined in a way that's positive, that's not self-destructive, that's not putting you in a place mentally to where you're hurting, but outwardly succeeding. You want to outwardly succeed and inwardly succeed as well. You got to find that balance. But that's all I got for real.
I definitely would pick off what you said, like us actually breaking the curses, like just something like this, actually having a talk with folks. I'm just me and most of y'all, but like I feel connected to y'all. I have never cried in front of a group of people before. The only person I've cried in front of, maybe Sair. I'm pretty sure I've cried in front of him and my mama. That's it. I don't really like to show that emotion because, like I said, grew up, you a man, just keep that in. But now I feel more comfortable. I'm talking to people I've never met, and I feel comfortable sharing. Like I actually feel a spiritual level of comfort. And I feel like our generation is getting closer to that, and I really like it.
Amen.
Hey, that's what we're all here for: to get better, more wiser, more realer, and to be more open to sitting in rooms with strangers and not being strangers. Dre's room.